What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today, I'm looking at Pep Guardiola's first 10 signings at Man City and where they are now. Obviously, Pep Guardiola joined Man City in 2016, I believe, so 10-year anniversary. So it'd be interesting to take a look at his first 10 signings. As you know, the phrase is, Pep never makes bad signings or something. I don't know. Everyone always glazes his signings, but, maybe they're not always great. So his first 10 signings, where are they now? Starting off with his first signing, it was Aaron Moy, who they did sign from Melbourne City in Australia. Never played a game for Man City. Instantly went on loan to Huddersfield. Then they sold him literally a year after they signed him. Went on to play some games in the Prem at Huddersfield, Brighton as well. Obviously, Shanghai Port. He went there a bit after the wave, though. Most of the Chinese Super League stuff was barely than that. And then Celtic 22-23, where he retired. Obviously, an Australian international, played at the World Cup twice, I believe, maybe three times. But yeah, as far as it goes, not a very good signing performance-wise, but I'm sure they made a profit on him. His second signing, however, probably one of his best, signing an injury-prone Ilkay Gundogan from Dortmund, who went on to stay for obviously 7 years, treble-winning captain as well, scored some very important goals, then just went to Barca, was just there for a season, then returned back to Man City where he was last year. Obviously, last year didn't really live up to the hype of his previous spell, but he was getting on. So then after only a season back at Man City, went back to Galatasaray, which is obviously where he is now. And, they did just pump Juventus last week, so maybe he'll win another Champions League with them. Pep's third signing, a bit of an unknown one perhaps. Nolito, brought in, just played the 19 games in the one season he was there. Sold straight to Sevilla after just the year where he was for obviously 3 years in Celta Vigo, a bit of a La Liga journeyman. Then after 2 years at Celta, decided to go to Ibiza, uh, which, a bit of a party town, just the one season there, and then he retired. So the second retired player, all of them obviously nearing into their career because, well, it was 10 years ago. So unless they were like kids when he signed them, they're all getting on a bit. Now, the next signing, a man who has just left the Premier League, Zinchenko, signed off obviously in 2016, went out to PSV in his first season, then came back, played quite a lot of games, 76 games across his 6 years at Man City, then went on to join Arsenal, title rivals perhaps, although this was before they were actually title rivals. They sold them Zinchenko and Jesus in like the same window or something, and then there was like, they bought Man City's like unwanted players. How are you ever going to compete? But maybe they are competing with him this season. Obviously, Arsenal for a couple of years played a couple different positions. They went out on loan to Forest at the beginning of this year, played just the 5 games, where he then moved to Ajax in January. But he did just have a season-ending injury like last week, so sad news for Zinchenko. Only played 2 games at Ajax before he already got injured, so it's some rough stuff, really. Now, Pep's next signing was Leroy Sané, who was there for the 4 years. Great talent, signed from Schalke. Had won like 3 Premier Leagues at Man City or something, so like pretty wild. Obviously, then he was at Bayern Munich for 5 years. I'm pretty sure they made a profit on him as well. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, Bayern Munich joined just after their crazy season, so didn't actually win the Champions League there, but won a couple Bundesligas. Now obviously at Galatasaray, where he plays with Ilkay Gundogan, his former teammate, who are obviously doing very well. Next up, a bit of an unknown one as well, perhaps, Marlos Moreno. This guy's a bit of a journeyman, you've got to say. Signed from Atletico Nacional, where he actually is currently, but obviously was at Man City. Played 0 games in the 6 years, went on loan to about a billion different places. And they eventually sold him to themselves, their club they own in France, Troyes, where he was, but barely played, as you can see. Then went out to Turkey, back to Tenerife, now back at Atletico Nacional in Colombia, I believe. But yeah, this guy goes on loan like all the time, honestly. He's been at the longest he's been at like one club is like 2 years, genuinely, and he goes to a club and they loan him out. Like some of these big club loan stuff they do, it's like I know, like why? Like you made this guy go out on like 6 loans in 6 years. That's crazy stuff, really. Next signing, bit of a not an unknown player, but signing like, oh yeah, Man City had him. Like there are quite a few like Pedro Porro and Jeremy Frimpong and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, they were at Man City. Geronimo Rulli, the Marseille goalkeeper, the Argentinian goalkeeper, was at Man City just 1 year. Then they loaned him out to Sociedad, who just bought him. So it's another one of those where like about half these guys literally never played a game for Man City, and they just sold them within a year or two anyway. So that's Sociedad. Then went to Villarreal. That's probably where a lot of people got to know him. Obviously, they're a Europa League winning team. But did he save De Gea's penalty in the final at Ajax for just a year? A bit of a weird move. Ajax, Villarreal. Now in France with Marseille, who are obviously criminal FC, but I don't think Ruli's actually committed any crimes, so it doesn't really fit into the Marseille stereotypes right now. Now, the only player of Pep's first 10 signings still be at the club, John Stones, been there ever since. Obviously, 178 games in 10 years. You'd expected him to play a lot more, but injuries have played a big part, especially last couple of years. Barely got on, to be honest. I mean, that one triple winning season where he played like CDM was crazy. Since then, he's kind of just been cursed. But yeah, great player for Man City, but injuries have halted. I mean, what could have been like a record appearance holder or something, man. Like, he's been there for 10 years, could be there for another couple. And if he actually played, 35, 40 games a season, that'd be, legendary stuff. Next up, one who also went to Arsenal, a couple Arsenal players in this list, Pablo Murray. Of course, never played for Man City as well, just went out on loans. Then went to Flamengo in Brazil. Obviously, was at Arsenal, bit of a weird loan. Why are we loaning in a Flamengo defender? They went on to bought him, barely played him, sent on loan to Italy, and now he has joined Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia just in January. Not really a surprising move. Slightly washed player go to Saudi. I mean, Al Hilal are probably a better team than Fiorentina and Monza anyway. I mean, Fiorentina, things are not looking good for them this season. I mean, last time I checked, they were dead last of Serie A, and everyone was hating it. So, probably a good move to get to Saudi, and Al Hilal are quite a solid team as well, although they are going to bottle the league apparently. Claudio Bravo, the final one. This guy recently retired. Well, not recently, 2 years ago. Obviously signed him from Barcelona. Pep did. Didn't bring him with him because Pep came from Bayern, but brought him from his former clubs. He was there as the backup to Ederson. Well, he actually brought him to play ahead of Joe Hart, but then he bought Ederson because Bravo, a couple stinkers. But yeah, he did play a few times. I'm pretty sure he got sent off in the game that led Kyle Walker to playing goal against Atalanta that one time, but then did leave to Betis in 2020, where he was for 4 years. Played just the 56 games there before retiring. Obviously quite old, had a good career, won a couple Copa Americas as well. Not bad stuff. But yeah, that is the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.